So I think this is the regulator, and just like that other valve body, it's got some weird ball bearing jammed to the side here. And it's not free, so I don't know if it's like some kind of a restriction to let in like a certain amount of oil or whatever it's doing. But anyways, this thing, there's a pipe here, and under this middle pipe, there's a filter that you'll need to change, which is that filter right there. So to get that out, I think all you gotta do is, you could destroy this, or you could try to grab it with pliers here. Just try not to scratch up the inside bore. Another thing that you can probably try to do is just get something small. See, you can see it goes all the way through. That's the metal mesh screen. Just put something in here and push the filter out. And here's the part number for the filter. You'll need two of these. One goes into the regulator, and then the other one goes into the main valve body. And they're the same exact part number. Okay, so if you notice, the screen faces, it bulges out this way towards us. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take something small like this bolt, and I'm gonna try to push it through. And actually that required like no effort. So it's out. Not much of a fit there. But there's the screen. It actually looks good still. Hopefully the new part seals better. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but I thought it was just a straight through hole, but it's actually, it's kind of like stepped. Alright, so I've got the new part in, and it doesn't require that much pressure at all. And it should bottom out on the ledge. So that should be it. And then the only thing left to do is take the pipe that you took out and replace it. Alright, so this is the main valve body, and you can see there's this plate and this plate. You're going to take the bigger plate off that doesn't have the hole. And I've already removed the filter, but it's right here. And the direction that the new filter goes in is the bulge goes down, so it should be like that. And then just make sure that you put ATF here to lubricate it. So it should be like that, with the bulge facing inward. Alright, here's the main shaft, and we need to take off this needle bearing. To do that, you have to take off this circlip right here. Alright, once you've taken off the circlip, you're gonna have to also get it off of this part. Okay. So there's the bearing. And this should be the new part here. So here's the new bearing. And I don't think there's an up and down. But basically how I'm going to test which one's the side that I want is whatever's the smoothest part to ride on here, to spin on here. And how I'm going to do that is basically I'm just going to find some kind of metal that I can spin it on. So I'm just going to basically, you can even see that this is worn out because it is spinning on here. So whichever side you determine is the smoothest side, put that in and then put the circlip back in. Okay, so before I put that back on, actually I'm gonna try to clean this off. So that's back on. And before I put that circlip on, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna have a problem with these sealing rings. We've got these 3 sealing rings here. I'm not sure how those work, but I think you just spread them open. Alright, so these sealing rings right here, looks like if you just take a pick and try not to scratch it up, once you separate it, this whole thing should come out. So here's one, and basically it looks they feel just like plastic rings. They're probably made of fiber or something. And then I think what you do when you install them is squeeze them together a little bit so that when you install them, they'll spring together, and that'll help it seal. Alright, so I'll get this last one right here. So here's what it looks like. So basically, like what I was saying was push them together a little bit, like just before you put them back in. That way it'll help squeeze them together and help seal on here better. Alright, here's the new one, and here's the part number for the bigger one. You'll need 2 of these, and then this should be the one for the smaller one, because there's 2 big ones and 1 small one. So here's the bigger one, and the first thing I noticed is it's a lot drier, and this one actually feels like it's fiber. So the repair manual says to press them together just a little bit. And then you can install the first one. And actually, I'm gonna clean these grooves here. And I'm just putting a paper towel here and spinning it, so you can see there's some dirt in it. And I'm gonna do that to all 3 of these grooves. Okay, I'm gonna put the first ring in, and I'll go from the end to the outside. So basically I'm just sliding one end at a time, and I'm just spinning it around. And the only problem here you see is the ring, it actually went over itself, because this side should be on the other side, like that. That's the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to push them together now. And then I'm going to put it on its correct hole or groove. So there, now it's on its final one, and I'll just push it together a little bit. So that should be correct. And I'll probably oil this up, and then I'll just have to do the same thing for this one and this one. Alright, here's the next one. Actually, I'm going to push them together. So I'm going to push them together like this. And then I'm going to slide it into its correct groove. And then push it together. Alright, so here's the last one. This should be the part number, and this is the smallest one. I just realized it doesn't matter if you do it this way or you flip it over and do it this way, because it's the exact same thing. Yeah, I'm actually looking at this thing, and it feels really lightweight, and it feels like fiber, like paper or something. But probably it's some kind of reinforced, not like Kevlar, but I don't know what it's called. so yeah, I've got push it together first, and then slide it over, and then spin around, and then push it together, and then we're done. The only thing left to do is put this on, and here's when you can test to see which side is less friction. I think it's this side. So I'm going to go with this side. It feels like a lot less friction. So now that I'm happy, I can put this circlip back on, but actually I think I bought a brand new one, and this is the part number. So I might as well just use the new part. So here's the circlip. And I could have used the old one, but when I was looking at the diagrams, I had to just pick which ones that were the most likely that I would need, and I thought this might have been one of them. Probably the best thing to do is take everything apart and then figure out what you need afterwards. That way you can, which parts you can save money on by not getting them. Oops. So looks like the new circlip has stronger tension, which is good. So I'm going to try to walk it on by just pushing this up and then push it down. So this is just going to take a long time. The only thing I'm worried about is scratching this up with this circlip. Alright, if I can spread this to slide it over, that'd be the best thing. And I'm also going to oil this up just in case. Alright, Alright, so I'm going to try to walk this on. And this brass pick isn't even strong enough, so that's why I'm really worried about scratching this thing. Okay, so I think what's working is I'm taking a flathead here and I'm pushing it out while I'm using my finger to hold it in place. And I'm going to try to do the same thing this way. Okay, that almost did it. Okay, so this is really hard for some reason, but I pushed it here and I got it up over the ledge, and then I turned around and I pushed this up here, and I kind of helped leverage it here. But this is like ridiculously hard. So I got it past the ledge. It's on the race, and I'm just gonna keep oiling it up. So it's going. And maybe it might be better if I just keep pushing it like this way. That way there's not so much friction and it won't scratch up the race. And then I'm pushing the backside up. Okay, so it's passed, and I don't think I scratched it. I can check by just spinning it. I think maybe there's some scratches on this edge, but it's not that bad. So now I should be able to just push this thing up here. So now you just have to get over this race right here. and into its groove. So I got it up over that part, and then I'm gonna get it up over this other side. So now this side went into its groove, and I'm just gonna keep trying to push it around and get it over on the other side. It's kind of weird that I actually put a tiny scratch right here on the race, but this part of the race, it's not used for anything, so it's okay. And then there, and then it's in. And I'm gonna just spin it around its groove to make sure it's in there.